This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
And the picture of the two police, and isn't it just great that a journalist is where they are at the right place at the right time? Because they took a picture, which is on the front page of the Standard, of this gentleman on the 25th of June being taken. We don't know what happened after that. But can you imagine if you didn't have that picture?
Yep.
Imagine if you didn't have that picture and then somebody comes and said, well, they showed up at Kenyatta Footsteps on a Sunday afternoon or a Sunday morning, whatever the case may be. Somebody would have said you abducted yourself. But there's a picture. And that's the question that I pour even before you've been able to look at a cup of coffee on Monday. You should be asking the questions, excuse me, who took him? Where did you take him?
Yeah.
And for what purpose? If he had been arrested, did you present him with the court of law?
Did you
or
process
any
him?
kind of charges preferred against him? What is the case?
Yeah.
This stinks to high heaven, unfortunately. Because in the wake of a promise where this very thing was not supposed to happen anymore, we now see a man who, for all intents and purposes, is not able to speak about his harrowing ordeal, whether there was physical injury, mental injury, or a combination of the two is very evident here. And on the front page of The Nation, Michael Ngige says, I am pained everywhere. My head, as you had read before, my waist, back, and the rest of my body. I cannot walk. Benson Shikala says, I was very hungry, deranged, and if you touched him, he wanted to escape. He was very hungry, right? So this is David Luchima's brother, who has been unable to say anything. They were beaten. They were being asked who was funding them, where they got their body cams, because they had the cameras to cover police excesses. Hussein Khalid is the director of Vocal Africa. These are the questions that are being asked. Now, let me ask you something. Do you think that if somebody is resolved for a better country, and they come out to commemorate or previously demonstrate and or protest, do you think that you will be able to beat that resolve out of them, or torture that resolve out of them, or kill that resolve with people like Rax Masai or Albert Ojwang or people like that? Do you think that you'll be able to kill the resolve because you take life, because you instill injury, fear? Because what is it? Osana Emily asked a question this morning. What goes through your mind that you have tortured a man over 3 days who we don't know, and this is the thing, that we are speaking in an alleged position here, that we do not know who took him. But regardless of the fact, what goes through your mind when you're causing this harm to another human being? And for what purpose? Looking at him lying in this hospital bed, has that purpose been achieved?
What runs through your mind?
Really? Has that purpose been achieved? Have you now said, what is it?
I don't know. It's unfortunate for me how I look at it, that we live in very interesting times as a country where we saw two opposing groups came together and promised Kenyans. It is not that Kenyans forced these ones out of them.
No.
It is them who sat in a room and came out with 10-point agenda that would shape how government business is run. And ending police brutality and disappearance was top on the agenda. It was actually top 5 on the agenda. But today, it is 3 years since that union, right?
Yeah.
We still continue seeing this happening. And it is every other year, whenever we commemorate the Gen Z protest, that we see people getting disappeared. Now, that notwithstanding, there is a picture of police officers here. IPOA, where are you? Even the internal unit of police officers, what are you doing? Cabinet Secretary, what are you doing? President, the buck stops with you. We're not hearing you speak when it comes to Kenyans being disappeared, yet it is a promise that you gave to Kenyans that these things would come to an end. But that notwithstanding, where do the police get the power, the energy to pick up someone? This person disappears, shows up in a hospital, unable to speak, they are in pain, and were tortured. What exactly have we done that human life and human dignity is no longer our cardinal rule to protect? That it's easy for you to pick someone, beat them to a pulp, simply because at that point you have the arsenal or weapons or regalia for you to beat up people. You have the weapons of war that you control. Does that give you the power?
It does not.
Because this man was picked up by the police. It's clear. Unless Mimi Ndiosioni, because these are police officers. But where did they take them?
What you know what? Why are we not having the conversation about this? You know, do you see this broad-based government, whatever the case may be, that was supposed to be on an agenda? You had an agenda. On the agenda, one of the points was this very thing, that we were actually supposed to see it come to an end. On that promise alone, we should die on that cross. That this was never to happen to another Kenyan again, based on the promise that was made. But here now we have a man emasculated to the point whereby he's unable to speak, and others who till now we don't know where they are. If that doesn't incense you to the point whereby you said you promised this should not happen again, then we have a problem. Are we bereft of all feeling and value? What is going on?
I think we're asking for so much. My simple question is, the 10-point agenda, was it just words on paper?
Well,
was there
apparently
intention to fulfill those promises?
It would even be worse if there was no intent
Exactly.
to fulfill those things, the very tenets of the agenda. It would be worse. Morara Kebaso is here with us this morning, and he's already in the hot seat of the Situation Room. He is late, very late. Morara, good morning.
Good morning. I'm sorry I'm late. It's the traffic of the city, but I'm here now.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good. We saw you in Kisii over the weekend.
Yes,
You'll
yes.
tell us a little bit about that.
I was in Kisii. I've been going through Borabu constituency, auditing different projects that have been done by the NGCDF.
Okay.
And also telling the people of my intention to not only be the member of parliament, but to act in that position.
Okay.
Until the elections.
That should be interesting. Let's wait a little bit, because I'm sure we're going to get into it, because this proverb you might like.
Yes.
This week we're in Lesotho. Janice will share that.
Let's just go straight to the proverb, right? A cow is held by its horns, a person by their words.
A person by their?
Words.
By their words, yes. Words should mean something. And as they say, your word is your bond, and people trust you based on what you tell them. That is what we expect from the leaders that we have. I hope to be true to all my words. Yeah.
Interesting. Well said. What made you decide that you wanted to now be member of parliament?
Well, politics is practical. It's not theory. So I have evaluated and looked at the political situation in the country. I've understood the voters. I've understood the political system. And I've realized that we are already in the mud. And since we are in the mud, the only way to get out of the mud is to walk through the mud. That you see, there's no way utatoka kwa matope without walking through the mud. So you'll have to get even more stuck as you try to get out. So the truth is that we are already in a bad situation. And anybody who tries not to play politics based on how it's being played is rejecting the present. What we should do is we should take up the political systems as they are, go into them, and be people who can make a difference. So yes, there is a difference between the Kenya we want and the Kenya we are already living in. The Kenya that we are living in is a political system where political parties are based on particular regions and particular communities. And those political parties have leaders, and also there are leaders who hold political positions by virtue of the fact that they give citizens money, handouts. So it is better if I take up a position such as Member of Parliament and transform a constituency. Then and only then will people understand what we are trying to do and how we are trying to do it. Because sometimes the best way to teach is through signs and wonders.
Indeed. You were seen as the ambassador of developmental inadequacies or gaps in the country. You went around saying, well, this is what they told us was to be built. I mean, you did this to a far extent. And you seem to be talking about NGCDF also, and in terms of what it has been meant to do for development. And you seem to be having a particular problem with this.
Today I even came with my file to the show. For Borabu CDF. This whenever, as I do my research, I document it. I put all the documents here. Even when I find the companies that are doing the different contracts inside the constituency, I make sure I get the form of their CR12 and keep it in the file. What I've come to discover is that what is going on in my constituency is incompetence and pilferage of public funds. First, the member of parliament is elected to represent his people. Represent his people where? In parliament. The member of parliament has never been seen at the precincts of parliament. He has never gotten lost and found himself near parliament.
You're saying that the member of parliament for Borabu constituency has never been to the National Assembly?
Absolutely, I'm not lying. National radio, the most popular radio in Kenya. I'm here to tell you that even the Speaker of the National Assembly, there is a high likelihood that he has never seen my member of parliament and does not know him. He's learning about him through the media based on what I'm saying about Borabu constituency. 98% of Kenyans do not even know that Borabu constituency exists. Yeah, this is a very big constituency with a lot of wealth. So I'm the one who is now, bringing it to light and bringing it to the map. But surprisingly, my member of parliament is missing from parliament, did not vote during the finance bill, has never contributed to a single motion, has never spoken, has never even said hello or good morning or hello guys or nay when people are saying nay. He has never said anything. He has never even taken a photo.
And we know this because there's the Hansard, which is a
yeah.
public record, and
Absolutely.
we're saying Hansard shows no representation
Absolutely.
by the member of parliament
there
for Borabu.
is no representation of the people of Borabu in parliament. So now, but there is money CDF that he receives in the account. He made sure that pesa, he will not leave money. So the money every year when they are giving Constituent Development Fund, we get 164 million. So I've been auditing where the 164 million goes. And all I can say is that I'm very sad. I began with a project called Kenyoro SDA Primary, where I found that a pit latrine was built with 1.8 million.
No, it wasn't.
It was. The document are here. It's right here. It's in their, actually, it's in their financial statement.
Okay.
Prepared by their own accountant. So you see, hii ni kisu tu walijichongea wenyewe and they are the ones who sharpen their own knife. I went to the Borabu CDF office and found that they bought a water tank for collecting rainwater, 5,000 liter plastic water tank, which costs about 40,000 in the shop. They bought it at 500,000 shillings, 500,000.
The same thing.
Yes.
Okay.
I went to what we call it's called Mongori Primary School. It's one of the primary school where the member of parliament said he has a project for climate change, mitigation of climate change.
Carbon credits.
Yeah, and so he said he want to plant trees, okay, and have a water tank in every primary school. Now, I looked at the trees. I counted the trees at Mongori Primary School. They were only 7. And remember, the member of parliament spent 6,492,000 to plant tree seedlings at various primary schools. I have audited the bursaries, where I spent almost 40 million on bursaries. And I now have testimonials from several constituents who are ready to go on record and even record a statement that they actually bought a bursary form. Bursary forms were being sold at 1,000 shillings. If you want a bursary form for your child, it's 1,000 shillings. And also there are people who have been put on the bursary list that they've received a bursary, but when they go to the school, the money was never sent. So you wonder, hapa katikati, where did the money go to? Then I'm also now worried about the contractors, the ones who are doing renovation. Unajua wanapaka rangi mabati, they paint the roof of a primary school, then they say renovations at a particular school. Now, these companies have gone through to investigate who are the owners, and I've come to find that one of the companies called Blue Tosha Limited is owned by the NGCDF chairman and the NGCDF secretary. It is sad. It's called Blue Tosha. It sounds like a washing soap. Huh? It's the directors are Dennis Rosana and Teresa Mateni, who are NGCDF Borabu chair and secretary. You know, that's conflict of interest. You cannot be the NGCDF chair and still be the contractor, allocating yourself, contracts. And they've been paid a lot of money, actually. In 2023 alone, on 26th October 2023, they were paid 1,156,539 shillings. 25th October 2023, they were paid 1,156,000. 7th August 2023, 1,697,000. 7th August 2023, 1,700,000. 10th July 2023, 985,000. 19th July 2023, 965,000. And this is only one company. They have 8.
This is money that they have, according to what you've seen.
This is money that is in their bank account.
It is in their bank account. That has come into this company's bank account for offering services to the constituency?
I can even tell you the bank account. Equity Bank, Keroka. You give me a minute, I will find the account number.
They've been receiving money for what, Morara?
For doing different works and different supplies to the CDF. You know, the NGCDF spent 3.9 million on committee allowances alone.
Committee allowances.
3.9 million. Kuketi to discuss how to do nothing. So I'm at a point where first I have to open the eyes of the people of Borabu constituency. Show them how their public money is being spent. First remind them that they pay taxes, because I come to realize that most of the people do not even believe they pay taxes. So when money is stolen, they don't believe it's their money. They think ni pesa ya mzungu fulani uko Nairobi. But they need to know that, when they buy sugar, they buy flour at the shop, they have paid taxes via VAT. Once they know that they pay taxes and I bring it to them that this is your money, then now they start caring how it is spent. And once they see how it's spent, they'll start understanding why there's poverty.
In Borabu over the weekend, you've then said the same things that you're saying now in a public forum.
Yeah.
And it became a little bit of a kerfuffle because somebody wasn't very happy with the way in which you did that. Was that the time to let people know that this is exactly what has been happening over time?
You see, sometimes people speak about accountability like gossip. Yeah. We deal with accountability like gossip, where we discuss the leader when he is not here. But if he comes here, we say mtukufu, kiongozi, mheshimiwa, chairman. Hata mimi nilikuwa naambia hawa watu saa hii that hakuna mwingine tena kama wewe. Tumejaribu sana kujafuta kiongozi, lakini wewe, haki ya Mungu, mimi, because we are trying to appease him to give us something. So it is now time that, leaders be told in person where they are, that this is what it is. And I would have hoped that he would have let me finish my speech, because, he tried to grab the microphone. If he would have allowed me to finish, I would have finished everything I wanted to say. Then he would have come, since he was the one who had the microphone and he was the one who was welcoming people to speak, he would have had the opportunity to respond there and then and say, no, it was not, I did not spend 1.8 million to build the toilet at Kenyoro. I actually spent 2.5 million or whatever he would have said. Or I did not spend 500,000 on the water tank. I spent 1 million or 2 million. So it would have been better if he had given his constituencies an opportunity to hear his side of the story. But he did not, He instead tried to grab the mic because of the uncomfortable truth. And it led to a scuffle where, his security was drawing a gun on us. But now that is what bravery and courage is all about. I'm not doing this for myself. I'm doing this to encourage every young person that there are 290 constituencies. You can see I'm putting Borabu on the hot seat. I'm cooking it in the kitchen, and it's going to be fine and finer. Since I'm putting it through the fire, you also go and put your constituencies through the fire and do not be afraid. I know these members of parliament, sometimes they are very violent. They hire goons. Like myself, I've had, goons hired to follow me around and to disrupt public functions. But if we fear, then who is this courageous person who's going to deliver our country? I mean, we cannot deliver our country out of fear.
Yeah.
We have to do it out of courage.
Yeah.
So that is why I had the courage to tell him, because if I'm lying, then I should be uncomfortable to tell him in his face. But because it's documented and the evidence is there, and I went with my file to the funeral.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Morara, when you talk about 164 million that goes to the county, in 4 years, that is close to 700 million.
Yes.
Now, it is 700 million that has been given to Member of Parliament for Borabu, which then one would say there ought to be some 600 and almost 700 million in that constituency that says there is a school here, there is a road here. But all we're hearing is there has been misuse and misappropriation of the funds that have been given to benefit the people of Borabu.
Yes.
Do people of Borabu understand, first of all, what 700 million and what kind of change that would do to the constituency, that when Morara has come now to say, guys, this is how your money has been spent, do people really grapple the difference of 700 million in that constituency?
It's very difficult to make people understand the impact of almost 1 billion shillings.
Yeah.
And because they themselves have never seen, 90% of my constituents have not met with the 10 million even by accident. Most of them are used to 10,000, 20,000, 100,000, 300,000. I mean, that's the ability of most of their constituents. So for that reason, when you tell somebody that 1 million is lost or 10 million or 20 million, it's difficult for them to relate. But now it takes consistent messaging for them to get to a point of understanding. I said here in Spice FM some time back, probably a year or 2 years ago, that we'll have to have leaders who begin their career by civic education. It has been that politicians take advantage of ignorance, that politicians are happy when their constituents are ignorant, because when they are ignorant, they can't ask the difficult questions. I want my constituents to be absolutely smart. In fact, I will be sharing with them the financial statements and Audit Agenda's report. Everybody reads, so that when they ask me questions, they ask me very intelligent questions. And you see, that's why constituents have logged out of leadership. That's why constituents go for things like handouts and things like funeral contribution. Mheshimiwa alitupatia sanduku. Alitusaidia sanduku when so and so died. Tulikuwa na matanga, akatusaidia gari ya kubeba mwili. Mheshimiwa wakati alimaliza matanga alisema watu wasiende. Mkimaliza matanga, don't go. You line up here, niko na sukari yenu kidogo. And they never ask themselves, where did the money come from? Did he go and withdraw money from his school fees account for his kids to bring to us? Or is it that development that we do not have that is now being given to us in cash of 200 shillings? The reason people have logged out of leadership is because now they are going for short-term gain. They have given up on leaders. They know leaders will not help them. Therefore, tumukule saa hii. Si ndio huyu hapa. Tumukule wewe, tunajua utatusaidia wewe. Utaenda kujisaidia, because that's what leaders have been doing. It's repetitive. So for that reason, you give us 200, we are okay with it.
Then go.
So I have to teach my constituents, number one, to heighten their expectations. Wapandishe expectations kabisa of what they expect. So that this money that is coming to the constituents that's supposed to do development, when it comes, they ask me intelligent questions. It's not just 800 million. It's actually more. Remember that members of parliament also control the fund for Kenya Rural Roads Authority. So now we are discussing almost 3 billion. Okay, that comes to the constituency in those years. So that 3 billion is supposed to be so transformative, because a constituency is a very small area.
It is.
So if you decide to do some excellent work, it can be done. We've seen it done elsewhere.
I want to take a break because I want us to come back and then you can tell us that when we talk about these large amounts of money, development money, because that's our conversation around politics, development and politics, can we... I mean, I almost know the answer, but we'd like you to then explain it a little bit more with, your handy file here. that can you see the physical representation in development around constituencies that is comparative to the amount of money that has been spent? See, I told you I can already guess what your answer might be. Aspiring Member of Parliament Morara Kebaso is here with us this morning. We're going to take a quick break because we want to then be able to see development means when the resources have been applied that the people can actually benefit from it. That's one of the definitions of development. If it's not happening, then perhaps you're right to stand on the podium with your file and say you must do better. We'll come back. We'll discuss that in a minute.
This is the Situation Room. The only way to this.
The constituents of Borabu constituency mostly are farmers. And they are lucky that they have larger tracts of land because Borabu used to be a white island. So it then became a settlement scheme. So the land has not been subdivided to very small chunks as it is in elsewhere in Kisii. So because of having larger land, they are dairy farmers and they also farm a lot. So let's assume you want to put 150 million into proper use. Now, to set up a milk cooler, costs about 15 million shillings.
Okay.
That is buying the cooling tank, the receiving tank, the maybe whatever is going to generate power, if it's a boiler, if it's solar, and whatever is going to pump water from the borehole, drilling a borehole, buying the land, doing a perimeter wall, a gate, and putting all these facilities in place. Just a milk cooler. Because one of the biggest problems that milk farmers in Borabu have is that their milk goes bad if they don't sell it quickly. And they don't have a fridge or a freezer at home. So the moment they've milked the cow, within the next 1 hour or 2 hours, the milk must be somewhere cooling.
Okay.
Otherwise, it will degrade in value and then they will lose it. So for that reason, if Borabu has 4 wards. If you decide to do milk coolers in 4 wards, that would be 15 million times 4. That is 60 million only. Now, what will this 60 million do? Right now, the people of Borabu are selling milk at 35 shillings per litre to brokers. The brokers are buying at 35 shillings per litre because if you don't sell to them, the milk will go bad.
Right.
But look at how much we are buying milk at the shop, because this is still the milk that ends up in our
packets.
in the milk packets. We are buying milk at 60 shillings for half a litre and 120 shillings for a litre. So from 35 shillings to 120 shillings, let's look at the cost. 35 shillings, you add maybe 5 shillings for transportation and maybe pasteurization. Then you add another 5 shillings now for for administrative costs and maybe packaging. Because when you buy a roll of paper for pouch packaging machine, you buy many pieces from China, it's going to cost you maybe 2, 3, 4 shillings to pack 1 packet of milk.
Yeah.
So your end cost per packet, transporting, pasteurizing it and packing it is around 45 shillings. Then they are selling what the end manufacturing cost is 45 bob, but they are selling it at how much? At 120 with very little benefit to the farmer. If these people had their own milk cooler, they will do milk bulking. If they do milk bulking, they get better prices because now they sell as a cooperative society. So when Brookside or KCC goes to buy milk from them, they will not sell at 35.
No.
They can sell at 50. Why? Because the company is not going to incur the cost of going around the villages picking milk. They'll come to this particular milk cooler for this ward and collect 20,000 liters at a go. Just pump it from the cooler to the refrigerated tank truck and go.
So, sorry. So all the farmers give me one ward name in Borabu.
Esise ward.
Esise ward. All the farmers in Esise ward essentially would bring their milk in the morning to this cooler. Nobody has to go, this person border, no. Everybody brings their milk to the cooler. It's operated by the county, for example.
We put it in the hands of the community.
The community.
We say these people of Esise, you're going to have a cooperative society.
Got it.
All milk farmers are going to be members of the cooperative society.
And we can sell to one
company.
company.
You will choose your own leadership that will manage the cooperative society, and you can change leadership every year.
Got it.
Now, this cooperative society is the one that will run this thing. Now, they will take maybe 50 cents from every litre for administrative costs and for growing the cooperative society. Then from there, let them manage and bulk the milk. That's the eradication of poverty. When I was growing up, my grandfather Kebaso the late, may his soul rest in peace, we used to milk up to 100 liters a day of milk. 50 liters in the morning and 50 liters in the evening from my grandfather's cow. Right now, we only have 3 cows. Why? Because 1, diseases. 2, milk stopped being beneficial to farmers. 3, theft of cows.
Yeah.
It is one of the biggest problem in Borabu. Because Borabu, what we have is cattle theft. It's not cattle rustling. It's cattle theft by thieves, which was not there when Dr. Fred Matiang'i became the CS Interior. Because he comes from my constituency. I'm his member of parliament. I'm his acting member of parliament.
Okay.
Yeah?
You put yourself there.
No, but I have volunteered for the job. And sometimes the best way, let all the youth know that the best way to get a job is to volunteer for it. So I volunteered for the job. So since it comes from my constituency, there was no such problems as it is now. So what has changed since then to date is leadership. The only thing that has changed is leadership. The people are the same. The cows are there, the homes are there, nothing has changed. The sun still rises up in the morning and sets at night. Night is night and day is day. But what has changed? Leadership. There is nobody first who is putting the community together to say, how will we share information and ensure that anybody who is strange among us is known? Because there's no thief who comes from very far in Bomet to come and steal in a home that he doesn't know, a cow that he doesn't know, and pass a road that he doesn't know. It's coordinated by locals. And the only way to deal with locals who are coordinating theft of property is to have a community coordination that then works with authorities. Now, the authorities, the police who are there, what are they doing? Because we have an anti-stock theft unit in Memisi, another one in Kebuse, and other places. They are not doing their work. Even the county security committee is not doing their work. But what is the member of parliament doing? So that now you understand why Morara is the acting member of parliament. The member of parliament spent 1,800,000 to buy torches, gumboots, and jackets for his constituents to chase the thieves at night.
Stop it.
I mean, really? It's ridiculous. These are thieves that are armed. Some have rented guns. Some have arrows. You're not going to chase them with a torch. And why should they elect a leader for a leader to bring them a torch and a gumbo to chase thieves?
There is a constituency development fund committee that sits down to approve payments that will be spent of the NGCDF money.
Yes.
So the member of parliament doesn't have carte blanche over how this money will be spent. He doesn't alone. However, then the people who are agreeing for this money to be spent on something ridiculous like torches and gumboots to chase cattle thieves also then are complicit here, wouldn't you say?
That is very true. Because the NGCDF, these are the key. If it was come down to accountability, they would be number one. Because they are the ones who are charged with that responsibility. Okay? But of course, the person who has put them there is the member of parliament. He is the one who has put them there. And he puts the people that have experience in theft. So he does not put people who do not have experience. Like now, the person who's been put in charge is somebody with a wealth of experience of how corruption should work. He was a former councillor, so he understands how these things should be packaged. And unfortunately, he is also a contractor through Blue Tosha Company Limited.
He gets the work from this Blue Tosha, okay.
Yeah, he is the director of Blue Tosha, and Blue Tosha is here receiving money from CDF.
And all of these things are in this
all these things are documented, they are actual, they are in the reports. So I don't even know why. I think people become overconfident as they steal with time. In the beginning, they are very careful. Then with first year, second year, third year, nobody's asking, nobody's following up, nobody even bothers to check the paper. So they are like, you can put
I mean, Morara, I want to look at a situation where seemingly poverty is being weaponized to continue disenfranchising people. Why do I say that? Because like you've said, at the time when Fred Matiang'i was the CS Interior, there were no theft in the constituency. That today, you'd be given a torch to go take care of the thieves on your own. That today we will bring a plastic container, water container at 500,000, and no one is going to ask about it. So it's a question of perpetual poverty to the people, so that people continue looking at the 200 bob instead of changing things, empowering people so that poverty no longer exists, because you remove poverty and people no longer need you to come with your 200 bob. But I might as well leave you being poor, so that when I come with 200 bob, you run to Mtukufu.
Yes. Poverty is how people become 2-term, 3-term, 4-term, and 5-term.
Okay.
Poverty is the way to becoming 2-term, 3-term, 4 by doing nothing. Okay? I mean, so people don't have to be developmental. You know, somebody has been an MP somewhere for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and they've done nothing. But they are elected back to back because they've weaponized poverty. They know how to make people poor and then give them very little, so that the poor people are very grateful. So the weaponization of poverty is something that has to come to an end. And I want to call upon leaders that come from Borabu constituency. I am lucky to be the member of parliament of 90% of the Gusii elite. The elite of the MP, the elite of Kisii land live in Borabu. The chair central bank, Mohamed Nyaoga, I comes from my constituency. Borabu is my voter, is my resident. The control of budget, Margaret Nyakango, comes from Borabu. She's my resident, she's my voter. Dr. Fred Matiang comes from Borabu. Resident, voter, and most popular leader from that region. Professor Sam Ongeri comes from Borabu constituency. The governor of Kisii comes from Borabu constituency, which is in Nyamira County. The governor of Nyamira is in Borabu constituency. And the former governor of Borabu, the former governor of Kisii is also in Borabu. The Solicitor General, Ken Ogeto, was the Solicitor General. He is in Borabu. The CEO of Stanbic Bank, Joshua Ogara, he is in Borabu. The Chair, Geothermal Development Corporation, is in Borabu. All this, the Gusii elite, like most of the elite, 90% that you know from Gusii region, they live in Borabu constituency.
So what impact should that have?
It should have impact because, one, some of those homes are protected by GSU. I mean, these are state officers. Most of their homes are protected by GSU. Why should I have a security problem? Number two, they have the political networks that I need to fix the problem. It means if I walk into the office, I'm not just walking in as some random citizen. I'm also walking in as a neighbor. Hey, pale nyumbani. So if I come to you and say, could you please make a phone call to the Deputy Inspector General and inform them that we need additional police officers at Memisi Anti-Stock Theft Unit. We only have maybe 7. We want 12 so as to add the numbers. This person has more influence than myself to make that phone call, and it happens. So we have to tap into that influence that these people have.
That forward-looking leader would look at the already existing resources through its people to then open up even further development, because you talk about governors of central bank, you talk about individuals in the banking sector. It is easy for a forward-looking leader to tap into the networks and connections that these individuals come with to further open up economic activities that will empower the people. I mean, if you want to have, say, a cooperative society that is backed by a bank, you already have banking elites in your constituency, and all you need to do is to convince them that everything in the pipeline has been set and ready to accept.
And even involve them. Tell them, hey, would you please advise us? And since they have experience, they'll say, no, in my experience, I think this is what you should do. And some of these people who are corporate leaders also, they have CSR projects in their in those corporate entities. So they can, if they throw one project my way, it's not so bad. They can help with a thing or two. Yeah. So if I have this elite, all I want to tell them is, help me help you. If this place becomes safe, it is not just safe for me, it is also safe for you. If this place becomes well lit at night, you will be able to jog in the morning without any fear. If this place there is no theft of cows, even your cows will be safe. Okay? And you see, if people around become too poor, they will eat the rich. So at the end of the day, these beautiful homes, these people, if they become poorer and poorer and poorer by the day, you will have more and more black tax. People coming to your door to say, tusaidie chakula, tusaidie nini. Let's help these people be self-dependent so that everybody who lives in Borabu lives in peace. And that's what I'm saying. Within my own constituency, I don't just have elite. I also have educated people. I have been through the constituency during this week. I found youth. Hey, I met people with aeronautical engineering degrees. I met people with Bachelor of Education degrees. They graduated in 2019. They've never been employed
So what
since
makes
2019.
I hear you. And you've talked about
Met
an
economists.
elite from this area. You've talked about people who seem to be with it when it comes to a very highly educated set of people, and yet are still able to elect leadership that thinks it's okay to fight insecurity by giving them a torch and gumboots, which probably don't cost the 1.8 million shillings, and the people who continue to be rendered in poverty. Why is that decision being made if there seems to be an understanding about what needs to happen in societies and communities?
Okay, first, the elite are the minority.
Okay.
They are not the majority. But secondly, they've logged out of
said that earlier,
the
yeah.
politics of the region. They are also as disappointed as any other resident. I have received calls from a number of them. I don't have their permission to mention them, but they've told me, Kijana kanyaga mafuta. Help us. And these are elite, people, like, for example, we have vice chancellors of university. The vice chancellor of Kisi University comes from Borabu. In fact, he's across the fence from my home. The chair or the vice chancellor for, I think, another university, I don't know, the Sijaton or Jquat, they also come from Borabu. So I have received calls and messages from all these people, and they've been telling me, please, can you help us fix this thing? Why? Because they are also helpless. They are the elite. They understand what should happen. They are highly educated. But the residents are being given money to vote. That means a criminal will become the MP. And when a criminal becomes the MP, you as a resident, the only thing you can do is just stay within the four walls of your compound and try and enjoy the ambience and not bother with what goes on out there. But this time round, I am going to ensure that first, money is not going to influence. Borabu is going to be the constituency where money will not influence who gets elected. I have already said it. I've told my people, and anytime I meet them, I've had almost 9 public forums. Sunday alone, I had 3 public forums. I went to Catholic Church Kebirigo, I went to Nyaramba Catholic Church, then I went to Maranatha Church in Itibo. Every single public function. In the afternoon, I met with ECD teachers from the whole Borabu sub-county. Every single public function I go, I have been free and open with them. You see, we have politicians who fear the people. Tuko na wanasiasa ambao wanaogopa wananchi. They don't want to tell the people the truth. They just say, skiza ground. What are people saying? People are saying they want money. Okay, but let's go get money for them. So we have leaders who are following the people. We don't have leaders who are leading the people. I have decided I'm going to be a leader. So when I sit down with the people of Borabu, I tell them the truth. I tell them, this is one of the reasons yenye tuko hivi, musifikirie ni viongozi kwanza. Sosi ya viongozi ni sisi. And how do we end up with this kind of leaders? Okoserwa. Inaitwa okoserwa. Mogambi tosere. Tosere ni kakitu. So this 100 and 200 clean new notes that have a CBK, white tape that you keep being given is money that has been stolen from you. Nobody's bringing you their own money. They steal your own money because they've been contractors. Then they give you 200. You go and vote for them. When you vote for them, they have no intention of working for you. The only intention they have is paying back themselves the money they spent on you and stealing more for the next election. So for that reason, the people of Borabu, wawe wa kwanza. Borabu means light.
Okay.
Borabu means light in Ekegusi language. So since it means the light, this is where the light is supposed to begin from. Borabu, let them be the light, which is Borabu. Let them now help in becoming the first constituency that is going to elect somebody without cash handouts.
There you go.
Yani si lazima niwapatie pesa. Nyinyi niamini tu niwafanyie kazi. End of the story.
Morara Kebaso. You still do the thing. And this actually is interesting because it is applicable across the country.
If it can be done in Borabu, it can happen everywhere in Kenya.
Asante Sana for being here with us this morning. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
A very good morning. It's 8 a.m.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.